Am I live? I gotta sign into chat. Am I live? Am I live? Am I on the right? Oh, I am live. Hello? Am I live? I gotta sign into chat. There we go. Bada bing. Am I live? Am I live? Am I on the right? Cool. Oh, I am live. Hello? Am I live? Can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. I gotta sign into chat. It's a scam.
Is his elite business coaching a scam? I'm gonna share with you my story with Wes.
Why the fuck is this dude yelling? That's the real question.
I had reached out to Wes when I had about 12,000 followers. I was brand new to the game, and I wanted to help monetize my passion for helping others. I wanted to take my game to the next level. So I hit him up. I say, Wes, what's all included? He gives me this big breakdown of all these promises, client acquisition funnels, all this other bullshit. So I send him to 3,000. What do I get in return? An 1,800 calorie meal plan. That's it. 2 months pass by. I hit him up. Say, is this how you get down, big dog? $3 grand? And that's all I get. He starts fucking losing it on me. He calls me. He said, you think a motherfucker like you can fuck with a motherfucker like me? I said, bet. See you around. He said, where the fuck do you live at? I said, Texas. He said, I'm going to send my homie from San Antonio to kill you and your whole fucking family at your house. I said, bet, big dog. After finally getting his one-on-one call for his elite business coaching, I could have taken that $3,000, lit it on fire, and it would have provided more value for me. So now guess what, big dog? I'm going to be a voice for every other motherfucker that you took their hard-earned money and ran with it, not providing what you promised. So what's it going to be, big dog? You're going to block me like you do everybody else because you're a fucking coward. They better up security at Elevation Fitness because we're coming and we're coming.
Oh my. Oh my.
Coming for fucking blood.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Nothing more, nothing less, man.
Building manager. Yeah, she's a whore. I've been told. Dude, what the fuck?
What is this?
I'm trying to understand what the fuck's going on.
I'm trying to understand what the fuck is going on. Though. I just told you what's going on, though. Why? Nothing more.
What's going on here?
Nothing more, nothing less, man.
Building manager. Yeah, she's a whore. I've been told. Dude, what the fuck? This girl's a slut. She's been doing this for a while.
Right now, let me tell you what you're
Dude,
doing.
look at her phone.
You're
Look at her
making
phone.
it. You're making.
Let's see the phone.
Give him the phone.
Yeah,
Let me see the phone.
Break into your house.
Let me see the fucking
Give her the
phone.
phone. Dude, I've been hearing her bringing dudes fucking forever. You guys are causing commotion. I'm gonna have to fucking raise the rents. Like, what the fuck's going on here, man?
I don't know, man. I know what's going on with these two. They're trying to set me up somehow. I
knew she was on some bullshit.
So what?
Wait, who are you?
Huh?
You know the guy that she was trying to.
Can you give me my hat, please? And let me go to my car real quick.
What?
This fucking slut, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What is this shit?
Yeah. Let me go to my car and come back.
Well, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Hold on. No, there's not gonna be no problems here. But I own the building. No, there's not gonna be no problems. You're a fucking whore. You know that? Why do you gotta fucking do this shit? The guy works hard to put a roof over your head.
What?
The fuck is
my
this?
problem. The other guys have the free. They feel like they can come and mess with a married woman.
Oh man.
Is this even real?
I'm trying to understand what the fuck's going on.
Is this even real? Oh my gosh, this is so fake. Goodness gracious. Mm. Oh, yeah, remove. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Well, so I guess this is a little fake news. Oh my gosh. Is that true? Let me look it up. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
Billionaires like Elon Musk are lining up behind Donald Trump.
Take over, Elon. Yes.
Why? Because his tax
So million is a mega, billion is giga, and trillion is tera.
plan will make them rich as hell. Kamala Harris wants to cut taxes for working and middle-class Americans, not billionaires and large corporations.
Billion is mega, billion
You're
is
not a
giga,
child, you're a man. So stop wearing so many layers to go
million is mega, billion is giga, trillion is
outside
tera.
and get the bearskin tactical.
It absolutely breaks my heart to know that this baby girl could still be alive today if this woman had alerted authorities that she needed help.
College students in Tampa, Florida say they woke up to find that their roommate had given birth to a baby and put the baby in a trash can. Now the young woman is charged with aggravated manslaughter and other serious crimes. We're going to discuss this heartbreaking case with the prosecutor, the state attorney for Hillsborough County. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Months after police say a University of Tampa student gave birth in her dorm room and put that newborn in a trash can, she has now officially been arrested states away from her former college. 19-year-old Brianna Moore is in custody in her hometown of Quitman, Mississippi, and is in the process of being extradited back to Florida. According to prosecutors, Moore was living in a 4-person dorm suite at the university where each girl has their own bedroom and they share a common living room and a bathroom. And we go back to April 27th, where Moore's roommates called police because they say they heard a baby crying and they saw blood on the bathroom floor. So paramedics, they come, the campus security, they come, they question Moore, but she said she wasn't pregnant and she blamed the blood on her menstrual cycle. The authorities leave, but then the next day, the roommates allegedly find a bloody towel in a trash can and they call the police again. When the officers unwrapped the towel, they found something absolutely horrific. A dead, newborn baby girl. Officers confront Moore. They read her Miranda rights. And during an interview, Moore reportedly confessed that she felt sick, that she'd gone to the bathroom where she gave birth to a full-term baby. Now, she says the baby was crying, so she held her tightly to her chest until she stopped crying. And Moore allegedly admitted she thought the baby was dead, but washed her off, put her on the bedroom floor before she fell asleep. She reportedly woke up an hour later and said the baby wasn't showing any signs of life, so she wrapped the newborn in a towel, put her in the trash can before she fell back asleep. Authorities believe that it's likely she was in denial about ever having been pregnant in the first place. And then this is where things changed. The autopsy determined that the baby's death was a homicide by asphyxiation. The newborn apparently had fractured ribs, hemorrhaging on her lung. And when the investigation was ongoing, Moore returned to her home state of Mississippi. Authorities got a warrant. U.S. Marshals arrested Moore at the end of last week, and that is where we currently sit. Now, we have seen cases like this before, and this sometimes becomes kind of tricky legal territory on charging mothers who do this or allegedly do this. And analyzing the law on this, too, is kind of a murky territory. It's an important story to cover because we're seeing this happen a lot. And I have to say, we're able to continue to bring you these really, really important stories and break them down because we get amazing support from our sponsors. And I really want to call out one in particular right now, Morgan & Morgan. Fantastic partner. So until she finally emerged from the bathroom about 15 minutes later. And that's when they found a baby in the trash. Medical staff explained the situation to police when they arrived.
We did a pregnancy test on her, showed positive. She was denying that she had sex. Then she said she had to go to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom. She was in there for quite a while. We kept knocking on the door. Finally, we got her to open the door, and there was blood everywhere. She was cleaning it up. Okay. So we took her back to the room, and I was afraid that she knew she was pregnant. She had done something to herself. Mm-hmm. So the doctor started doing a vaginal exam on her. We had the lady come to clean the bathroom. She put the baby in the trash can, and then she put another clean liner over the top of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when they looked in there, there was no trash in there, but it was underneath the clean bag. The baby's dead. Okay, we have him in trauma too, but she killed the kid.
Yeah. How old was the baby?
I don't know. It's full term. She had it in the bathroom was what happened, and then whatever she did, I don't know. She's gonna lie. She wouldn't tell us she's pregnant.
And police body cams, they were rolling when the doctor told Trevizo and her mom that they knew what had happened.
We discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It came out of me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this.
But
I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
It was not crying or nothing.
What did you do to it?
Okay, stop right here. Stop. Number one priority, guys. Number one priority is she just had a baby. I don't know if she's delivered the placenta. She's bleeding significantly.
Yeah.
Do you guys have? I'm the charge nurse here. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Like, how big is the baby?
It's full term.
What?
Nothing,
9 months?
Nothing was crying.
Lexi, have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail?
Nothing was crying.
In terms, I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
And nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know. But the baby's gonna have to be taken for autopsy and there'll be an investigator and everything.
Now, Trevizo has said she didn't know that she was pregnant, that the baby was a stillborn, and an examination showed that the baby, though, was breathing when it was born. So in that case, Trevizo was charged with murder. She was charged with tampering with evidence. And for now, Trevizo's trial is on hold. Her defense lawyer argued that the statements and the footage from the hospital were in violation of HIPAA laws. They also argued that once the police and doctor entered her hospital room, she was blocked, so she couldn't leave. This was what they considered to be unlawfully detaining her. Now, a judge with New Mexico's 5th Judicial Circuit granted the motion to suppress. The district attorney fought back. They filed an appeal to the New Mexico Supreme Court asking them to reverse that decision. Obviously, they want this evidence in a trial. It's important.
Andrew Cole knows that our children's safety is the most important thing. He graduated from the same.
And for Trevizo, look, her trial date, which had been set for August, it's undetermined for now. So we do not know how this case is actually going to be decided. But clearly, it has these parallels to the case that we're talking about right now. All right, I am joined right now by a special guest. I am joined by Hillsborough County State Attorney Susie Lopez, who we were showing earlier during that press conference announcing the charges here against Ms. Moore. Thank you so much for coming on. Really, really appreciate it. I have to say, I watched your press conference. I got emotional. I could tell that wasn't easy for you. I could tell that this feels like one of those cases that is very personal, and you brought a lot of emotion to that press conference. What was going through your mind when you were saying that?
I had a hard time. I've had a hard time with this case since I went out to the scene on that Sunday night in late April. I go to most homicide scenes, but it's very rare that we have a child involved, especially a newborn. And I stood there outside of the dorm at the University of Tampa, and I saw a bag that I knew, from what I had learned, contained a full-term newborn baby girl. And so it was hard because in the weeks that followed, I had people walk up to me at Publix, our grocery store, in the courthouse, in my own office, who said, I would have taken that baby girl without question and raised her as my own. And so it was definitely very emotional to know that this woman made the choices that she did and that her actions contributed directly to that newborn baby girl's death.
What led to charges being brought so many months later? What was it difficult to assess whether to bring charges and what those charges would be?
So it took us about 6 months, but we wanted to make sure that there was not a rush to judgment and that we made the right decision when it came to charging. The medical examiner's office did their due diligence in.
I wonder if there's like. Abortion coverage and women forced to carry her dead fetus. Anti-abortion laws.
This is week 24, and this is just a profile picture of the baby's face and hands. And that's when we found out. He confirmed the Potter syndrome at this ultrasound. The issue with this syndrome is that when there's low to no amniotic fluid, the baby's lungs never develop, so they end up being premature. So either the baby will be born and live for 20 minutes to a few hours, or they may be born stillborn.
It's challenging to watch my wife essentially go through it all, deal with not only the pain of, the pregnancy. Pregnancy is not easy to go with, in a normal circumstances anyway, and then also have to deal with, the mental trauma of essentially losing a child, and dealing with that, and not easy to feel like your hands are tied.
Every morning at 6:30, regardless if I'm in a lot of pain or having some anxiety, I get up because he wants me to take him to school. And so every day it's like, how can I better myself? What can I do with my anxiety and depression? Because he still needs his mom. We've pretty much made a plan for everything at this point, knowing I have to carry to full term. So we kind of have come to accept that. I mean, we don't have any choice but to accept those terms. It's exhausting. Just the anxiety and the depression and, you know, carrying a baby and knowing what's about to happen. It's mentally, it's challenging. And then just my 4-year-old, he doesn't see the same mommy all the time because I break down crying. He's wiping my eyes and telling me it's okay. So I know it's probably hard on him seeing me sad.
It's been difficult to be able to move past. So knowing that we're essentially our loss, that, you know, we're not going to have the child that we were planning on having, you know, we essentially have to carry that for another, you know, several weeks until being able to essentially move past it. My son continues to see her belly grow. So my son still doesn't quite grasp the concept that the baby's not coming home. I get to essentially be able to distract myself with work and with playing with Caden. You know, my wife doesn't necessarily get that option. She carries the reminder just about every day.
Oh, goodness. Let's look at some clearance.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She supported his disastrous economic agenda, higher taxes on the middle class. Kamala backed his open border policies, and their weakness invited wars. Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
Grammarly now uses AI to help you write, not just revise. Type a prompt and generate a persuasive, mistake-free draft in seconds, personalized to your unique writing style. Download.
What's your opinion on the enhanced games, or the idea of it advertise itself as a competition where you can use? I've lost the motivation and I've gotten older. I think I grew up in the worst period of weightlifting, making it risky to compete against the best and it being impossible to compete against the best without PEDs. These days, it's much more possible to compete at a higher level naturally due to all the restrictions, and your chances of getting a medal are certainly much higher than before. And it seems alternatives to IWF and the Olympics is right around the corner, maybe, with something like the Enhanced Games. I wish I was just actually born a bit later. Or maybe I'm wrong, maybe weightlifting is just going to get a lot worse. It's certainly easier now to compete naturally, but the sport has certainly gotten a lot worse, in my opinion. Aside from the corruption in weightlifting, did you enjoy competing itself? Kind of. I guess I did enjoy competing a bit, but I didn't see it as the ultimate goal or the reason I did weightlifting. Competitions are definitely not the reason I started weightlifting, I would say. I started weightlifting simply because I thought it looked cool and I was good at it. Coming from parkour and tricking, the idea of competing was a bit strange to me. because I did those sports simply because I liked doing them. Competitions didn't exist with those sports. It was a hobby that I simply did. I did it for fun, so I carried that idea over to weightlifting. And it's unfortunate that just training weightlifting and not competing is seen as strange. Like, you can't just clean jerk 150 kilos without anyone pressuring you to compete. And when I was growing up, loads of people asked me when I'm going to compete, and most people just pressured me into competing. I guess this exists with other sports as well. Like, for example, I'd love to casually train the high jump or throw a javelin. But in order to do that, I'd need to join a club and be expected to compete in most cases, and not competing would be seen as kind of weird. It's not seen as weird to just do bodybuilding or powerlifting without competing, but for weightlifting, there's always this pressure from other people telling you to compete. And yeah, when I was younger, that kind of put me off the sport a bit. Hopefully just training weightlifting without competing becomes normalized. Like, just trying to squat 200 kilos for yourself isn't seen as a weird goal to have. Why aren't you wearing weightlifting shoes these days? It's just because it's easier and I'm not training hard, so I don't see the need to use them. Like, it's really nice to walk into a gym with no extra equipment and just start lifting right away. It's annoying to take off your shoes and put on weightlifting shoes. And if you include wrist wraps, knee sleeves, and a belt, it really becomes annoying. It becomes a nuisance. Constantly adjusting your belt, taking on and off your knee sleeves and wrist wraps can be very annoying. Having to wash these pieces of equipment as well and remembering to bring them and being useless without them is not good. I don't want to be dependent on those pieces of equipment. Of course, it'd be a different story if I was training at my absolute peak and wanted to maximize what I could lift. But I've been just casually lifting with CrossFit shoes that I wear outside the gym for about 2 years, and I've been questioning the need for weightlifting shoes unless I'm training very hard. I could probably go through a hard cycle of weightlifting training without them. Of course, I'm comparing CrossFit shoes to weightlifting shoes, you know, lifting in regular runners. That can be really difficult. I always get questions about weightlifting shoes. Like, it's a huge thing to consider if you're weightlifting progress. Yeah, you should buy weightlifting shoes if you're weightlifting, but honestly, the obsession over them is probably just due to like the marketing and consumerism, I guess. But in my opinion, just snatch, clean jerk, and squat every day for 5 years. Get good at weightlifting, and then start worrying about the optimal shoes for weightlifting. Are you transitioning to powerlifting? I don't know. I usually don't like telling people my goals or even making goals in the first place, because once you actually do something for long enough, then you'll begin to learn whether you like it or not, I guess. As for someone with a large following as well, I feel like many people have high expectations and constantly ask when I'm going to dominate powerlifting or whatever, and people constantly ask what my goals are, what my future plans are. So if I say one thing, it then feels weird just to change my mind, which is a normal thing to do. I kind of regret telling thousands of people about my idea to transition to powerlifting, although I never said I was committed to transitioning to powerlifting. I guess this is kind of like when Omar Yusuf said he was learning weightlifting and people expected so much out of him. I mean, logically, it would be the next step after peaking in weightlifting, because I'd probably be better in powerlifting, like going into my 30s versus weightlifting. I did start to do some powerlifting training 2 years ago, and I kind of lost interest. Started doing more weightlifting and dabbled in other sports. So I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't think it matters. Interests and goals can change over time, which is completely normal. If you're interested, on my website there are many programs and ebooks, such as a squat program, hypertrophy and strength program, and weightlifting programs. If you'd like to get a great insight into my training, I have an ebook, Clarence Kennedy's Weightlifting History, where I talk about all my programs I followed since I was 15, and I give general tips you can apply to your own training. There are also bundled discounts available where you can get 20% off. Also, the Clarence O Starter Pack is still available. now with a huge discount. You can get a total of a 35% discount if you apply the code CK25 at checkout. This tank top and shorts combo is excellent for training, and it includes a 16-bit logo of me snatching like it's from a video game. Links will be in the description and pinned comment on this video.